Hello, and welcome to The Advantage Investor, a Raymond James Limited podcast that provides perspective for Canadian investors who want to remain knowledgeable, informed, and focused on long-term success. Today is June 21st, 2024. I'm Chris Cooksey from the Raymond James Corporate Communications and Marketing Department. And today, financial planner Yannick Rivest joins the podcast for summer financial planning tips. Welcome to The Advantage Investor, Yannick. I hope you're doing well.
I am, thank you. What about you?
I am doing excellent. It's a beautiful day today, so excited because it is Friday, of course. Looking forward to the weekend. And sort of, I guess this conversation is a little more expounding because we're going into that giant summer holiday season, your extended weekends and all that. So we know we earn our summers here in Canada. So to me, it's understandable why people just want to head out and explore the country or head to the lake or see family and friends. I'm very interested to hear your thoughts on how investors can help make sure their portfolios will continue to do what they've been designed to do, while maybe their attention lies elsewhere. Does that sound good?
It does, yeah.
All right. So let's just start off with a basic question, more general financial planning. How does a financial planner like yourself help with investor success?
So what we have to know first thing first is with a financial plan, we do measure the feasibility of the investor's goals. An example, can they keep their current lifestyle all through their lifetime? So we also evaluate if they put enough money on the side for their projects. We evaluate their current strategies to see if they maximize their current situation. We analyze tax efficient strategy to ensure that the investor saves money today, tomorrow, and after tomorrow, which roughly means on the short term, midterm, long term, also in order to make them save taxes over their lifetime and increase their net worth and more. And there are studies that shows that really a client that works with a financial planner and advisors increase their net worth of 2.3 times more than a client that doesn't deal with an advisor and a financial planner. So there's really a big value having a financial plan and working with a financial planner and your advisor.
Totally makes sense. I mean, I think the financial planner and the advisor, obviously there's a lot of knowledge there, but one of the great things is it's more people focused on what's important, keeping emotions in check. Is that yes. Something you would agree with?
Completely.
Awesome. Now, how important is it for a person's plan to evolve as the person's life evolves? Because obviously what you think is going to happen when you're 25, life happens and gets in the way. So how does that affect things?
So not to quote one of my favorite movie, Bridesmaid, people change and we change and it's true. But like when we build like a financial projections or financial plan, really what we do, one of the things actually we do is we take the client's situation and we project it into the future based on assumptions. And those assumptions like inflation, rate of return, even the level of expenses, is to have a good grasp on what can happen in the future, trying to see future blind spot. But nobody has a crystal ball or a working one, actually. So we don't know the future. So that's why we love to revisit really the financial plan every roughly 3 to 5 years, or if there's an important change in their life, because we want to see, should we change the current strategies or maybe change them? So really important for that, point one. And I would say it's the same thing with your will. And when we look at your will, like some people, they just draft it and then leave it in a drawer all their lifetime. But we change, our objective change. So it's always good to reread your will also every 3 to 5 years and maybe rewrite them.
Okay. Now, obviously, we're all familiar with spring cleaning or, getting ready for that summer, get your patio ready, getting the barbecue ready, all that stuff. And if we're thinking about, summer and holidays, what are some of the tips for people who may get distracted by this summer fun?
So something to take into consideration is while we're enjoying like the beautiful weather, we are not good at budgeting. We're not really good at that because I call it vacation mode. In vacation mode, there's no budget. There's no limit of spending. And
we'll figure that out in the future.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I'll look at the bill or maybe look at the bill once I'll be back. So it's good to be proactive about that and trying to measure your expenses. So, like me, I have my own little saving account, and I put a name to that saving account called Ready for Adventure, and I put $75 per week into that account just for vacation. So, like right now, I looked this morning, I have $1,000 in that account. I know I'm leaving in September for a cruise. I can't wait. But let's say it's $1,500 that's going to be there in that account in September. I know how much I can spend on stupid things, like maybe some spices, because I love to cook and I love to buy spice from around the world, or like a new T-shirt that I might not wear. But we need to limit our expenses, and the best way is to be proactive about it and to put some money on the side and spend that amount of money, not more.
That makes sense. Now, what are some of the common mistakes you see when, talking planning with clients and investors?
Biases that people have. And there are so many biases, because people think that planning, like there's some recommendations for everybody, like, oh, I should keep my RSPs into a RIF until the age of 71, or I should take my CPP at the age of 60, like the sooner. So many biases in planning. And my answer to them is it depends, because everybody's different, which is the beautiful thing about human being. We're all different. But same thing too, we have to always look at somebody's situation with an holistic approach, because the answer will be different for everybody.
That makes sense. Now, when we're thinking specifically about summer, part of this is it's not about watching your investments throughout the summer, because presumably if you have that good plan, that's all set up ahead of time. You don't need to worry about it per se, unless you, again, go through one of those life events where it would
Yes.
require a change. Is that true?
It's true. And we have to remember something I love to say also. Long-term strategy needs long-term goals, and we have to treat it as long-term. Short-term
Right.
strategies, short-term goals, and short-term strategies directly we're going to look at day to day. So if you manage, like, let's say a banking account, that is short-term. You can look at it like every week and it's fine. But for your investment, for retirement, for long-term, let it there. It's long-term strategies, and talk with your advisors, but have faith in your advisor, because he's there to help you ensure that
Right.
those assets grow over time.
Yeah, and I guess you have to match the goal to the strategy, right? Like if you need
Always.
if you got your down payment coming up, there, you don't want to put it in an asset class that's too risky.
Exactly. And it's super, super important. We call it time horizon. So when we look at the purpose of those accounts, let's say open an RESP to fund the education of a kid, we're going to look at what is the kid age right now when the kid will be 18, and how many years left, so we can invest that way. Because for shorter time horizon, those investment needs to be safer, and a longer one, we can go more aggressive.
Cool. Now at Raymond James, we are very excited as a firm to be able to offer our what we call our total wealth solutions. What does that mean exactly, though?
So first thing first, within the industry, I'm talking about investment advisor, there is a shift happening, which I'm totally for it. Advisors are becoming now wealth advisor, because we no longer manage only investment. We manage wealth and advice. And with Total Wealth Solution, and I'm so proud that Raymond James, we do offer that, it's a team of specialists that we are there to advise client when needed. So like within that team, we have investment manager, insurance solutions, tax solutions, estate and trust services, charitable giving, and of course, financial planning. That's why I'm here. So what we do really is we partner with the advisors and the clients. We engage really in the discovery process to learn about the client's goal, their objective, and design a personalized plan, implement, and then monitor and adjust on an ongoing basis with the client. And as we need, we connect the client with key specialists who are dedicated to help them use their wealth to create the life they envision.
Now, It's amazing because I'm sure like myself, even though I'm just on the marketing side and don't have the depth of knowledge that you would in these circumstances, but I have friends and family who ask me questions, and I'm always like, well, you should get an advisor and not rely on the communications guy. What are some of the common questions you hear from family and friends?
I receive so many questions, all different. The One of the biggest question I receive, really the most one I receive from family and friends, is where shall I put my money? Should I put it toward my TFSA or my RSPs? Do I put enough money? Is my pension enough? And unfortunately, my answer is always it depends, because it always depends on so many
Yeah,
factors. But I do help them though, and I go more in detail trying to see their situation. But there's no solutions for all,
right.
unfortunately.
But like you just mentioned, it's funny. People always look at, sort of what should I be investing in rather than what am I trying to achieve? Is that a common thing you run into?
It's a common thing, and also people try, like, we all want to make like more money easier, faster, and everything, and it's all about trends. And there's so many trends we've seen in the past, and when we look at trends, is okay, maybe one asset's really increase. Let's talk about GameStop.
Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Super trends that started like on Twitter/X. I don't remember exactly what happened, but everybody started to buy those shares and increase the price, because it's a free market. It's offer and demands directly. A lot of people miss the trend, unfortunately, and we see that with Bitcoins. We see that with so many NFTs. I don't know if you
Yep.
remember
Yep.
NFTs in the past, and you were able to buy like for $10 million this
Bored
pixelated,
ape.
yeah, Bored Ape, exactly, the pixelated art, which I
Yeah.
try to do for fun. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna open Microsoft Paint, put the grid, put it like super high pixelated, and I'm gonna, like, I don't know, paint a mountain and trying to sell for $10 million, which never happened. But if we always look on trends, we're always missing the boat. So we need to always look on the long term. That's the best strategy.
Right.
And really working with your advisor for that, they have the knowledge. They do
Right.
that full time. They don't just read an article on a weekend and be like, okay, I know what to do next, because nobody knows again. Nobody has a working crystal ball, because you can
Mhm.
buy a crystal ball, but it doesn't work really. So always keep your eyes on the long term. That's the best thing to do.
So as we go into summer, trust your plan. Hopefully you have one. If not, talk with your Raymond James advisor. They can hook you up with a meeting with someone on our financial team, financial planning team like Yannick here. Trust your plan. Don't go chasing, and make sure that you're budgeting for those vacations and those fun times,
And be proactive.
and be proactive. Right? It's your savings, so work together with everybody to get the solution you require. Awesome. Well, Yannick, I want to thank you for taking the time today. Really appreciate it. Hope you'll join us again in the future.
I'll be pleased to. Thank you so much, Chris.
Excellent. Reach out to us at Advantage Investor Pod at raymondjames.ca. Subscribe through Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Please contact your advisor with any questions you have. Thank you for taking the time to listen today. Until next time, stay well. This podcast is for informational purposes only. Statistics and factual data and other information are from sources Raymond James Limited believes to be reliable, but their accuracy cannot be guaranteed. Information is furnished on the basis and understanding that Raymond James Limited is to be under no liability whatsoever in respect thereof. It is provided as a general source of information and should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for the sale or purchase of any product, and should not be considered tax advice. Raymond James advisors are not tax advisors, and we recommend that clients seek independent advice from a professional advisor on tax-related matters. Securities-related products and services are offered through Raymond James Limited, member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund. Insurance products and services are offered through Raymond James Financial Planning Limited, which is not a member of Canadian Investor Protection Fund.